Thank you for watching this Shakaama live show with your host, Shakaama. I want to talk about this, and I'm actually very sorry that I'm not on camera so you could see my passion. So I hope my voice conveys how passionate I am about this subject. I made an entire series called Leave Black People Alone, right? And I went over all of the various groups where we have basically white people. They just happen to be white. It's not a white-black thing. They just happen to be white, and they include black people in their causes, but black people never pause to say, hey, time out. We don't have this problem. MRA, feminism, we don't have this problem. When black people get married, we stick together. We are the second highest group with marriage longevity. That means that we stick together and do not get divorced longer than everybody else except for Asians. And I believe that Asians might be Koreans and Japanese and not the other Asians. I don't think the other Asians are so keen to it because I believe a lot of Indians do get divorced because they're a little bit more westernized. But when these white groups, and basically it's a white group, I mean, I know that they're not trying, they just happen to be the majority and they're together and they have some sort of cause and they include black people. But that's not actually what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about Democrats, like the Young Turks, conning black people into allowing them to say the most bigoted things in front of black people and even have black people sit there and agree with them. What am I talking about? Here's where I want to rip the veil off from what is really going on. Okay, black people, you're grown people, right? You're adults, right? Why would you let a white man sit in front of you and bash another black person? Now, when I just said like that, you're going to say, I wouldn't let a white person sit and bash another black person in front of me and there be zero consequences about it, as in I would never watch that person again. But it seems that you would. What do I mean? CNN, Fox, MSNBC, the Young Turks, what do? They bring in their token Negro Democrat, right? Because you're not a part of the Democrat. Be honest, you're not a part of the Democratic Party. If you were a part of the Democratic Party, you would be sitting at the table making decisions, and you're not. You know how I know you're not? Because how many black lobbyists do you have up in Washington, D.C.? Zero. Did you hear me? Zero. How much participation do you have on Wall Street? Nearly zero. You have white Wall Streeters saying, you never see a black person. I mean, and like they go home. Now there's rich black people. There are rich black people. I know it's a shock to you. There are rich black people, but they're not up on Wall Street like that. And the Wall Streeters have even come out and said, why is it I can go home to my nice $3 million house and the neighbors across the street are black and they have barbecues and they invite me over and there's a whole yard full of black people, but I go back on Wall Street and there's one black firm out of all of Wall Street? I mean, I thank God for the one black firm, but Jesus, how did this not happen? And it's not about the Jews keeping black people out. You're just not you're not there. And you're not at the table. And you know, Barack Obama was a plant. If you don't know that by now from watching my channel, let me tell you right here and there, right here and now. Barack Obama was a plant. He was planted 50 years ago. Barack Obama is not yours. He's somebody else's. I don't know why black people are defending him. And I'm gonna make a separate video after this just on a statement that it brings to mind the other thing that I was going to talk about in another video, and I will make it another video. So here's what they do. They bring the token Negro Democrat, who's not really a Democrat. I keep telling you, black people, you're not a Democrat. You're not a Democrat. You're not a Democrat. You're actually conservative. You should probably start your own party or be a part of the Libertarian Party, which says that you are free to do whatever the hell you get good and ready to do. As long as you don't infringe on somebody else. This is why I just came out and said in a public online saying that racists should not be in the Libertarian Party, because the Libertarian Party, the basic tenet is you are free to believe and do whatever the hell you want to. Part 2, as long as you don't infringe on somebody else. So you can't be a racist and be libertarian. It doesn't make sense, because the racist, at the core of his belief system, is that other races can't be at the same table that he's at. That he is going to physically, legally try and stop other races from coming to the table. That's Jews, blacks, Asians, anybody non-white. So he can't be a libertarian, because that's not the libertarian way. The libertarian way is to live and let live. Huh? You two want to trade with each other? The government can't get involved and take taxes out of your trade. Because what does the government have to do with you selling onions or oranges? Nothing. You bought the oranges, or you grew the oranges. Now you want to sell them to Sally. What does the government have to do with that? Nothing. But here in the United States, you're no longer human, which means that you have to pay for the privilege of being human, to actually live. You have to pay. And this is why I tell black people that they need to join the Libertarian Party. And of course, the Libertarian Party needs to kick out any people calling them who are racist, calling themselves libertarian, because it doesn't make sense at all. Now, so they bring the token Negro. I'm a Democrat. My mom's been a Democrat. My grandma's a Democrat. Yeah, I didn't mention a granddad or dad, right? And they say, "Ooh, look at this person over here. They're on Fox News. They're a Republican. They're a black conservative. Now I will proceed to bash this black person for being black for the next 30 minutes, for the next hour. And you, Negro, you're going to sit there and listen to me bash this brother or this sister. Because I have now said that this is the boogeyman, because I'm the white defender of black people." Let me just tell you, white people who do that, who do such a thing. We're black people. We don't need you defending us. We're grown people. We don't need you defending us. We don't need your, and this is why the Democratic Party has led black people, down a pit. Because you call yourself the defenders of black people. Oh, those poor black people, they can't defend themselves. Let's start a program to defend them. Oh, no. Oh, no, Shalonda, you don't need a husband. You don't need a man. And you have this coming and going from all sides. Black woman, you are battled from all sides. You don't need a man. Shaniqua, you don't need a man. And then you got the white feminist. Here comes the white feminist. You don't need a man. Here's a government program. You don't need a man. And then the black woman thinks that she doesn't need a man. You need a man. You're a woman. You can only do what a woman can do. A man can only do what a man can only do. I have so many people say, you know what? You need to get married, leave that house of yours, and go live happily ever after. And I say, yeah, I know. But I guarantee you, and invariably they do. My family, if they caught wind of me even dating a woman, they would come and inspect her, and if she didn't pass the muster, that she would be gone. She would be scared off. Even if I, said I'm gonna stand my ground, she'd be scared off. Trust me, she would. Because if the big bad cousins didn't scare her off, then we get all the preachers in my family, and then we get all the rich people in my family, and she would be history. And then I would end up in some sort of arrangement, which is, at this point, as I get older, I'm like, okay, maybe the arrangement wasn't so bad. But we don't need to be alone. Science says humans need humans. Why the hell would you even agree that you don't need a man? And what did I say? This whole feminism thing, talking about you don't need a man, and the whole men's rights activists saying that you don't need a woman, and men going their own way, which is a white movement, another white movement. MGTOW, you don't need a woman. Black people don't suffer from the same thing that white people suffer from. So stop trying to include us in your little groups. And black people, don't sit there and let a white person bash another black. You need to have complete and utter solidarity. I don't care if the black guy is sitting there calling and he's Uncle Ruckus and he's calling you all sorts of names. It's for you to call out Uncle Ruckus in your own neighborhood, on your own channel, huh? In your behind close, you need to take Uncle Ruckus in the house, close the damn door, and then you can proceed to tell Uncle Ruckus everything that he needs to hear from you. You don't do it in mixed company, and I'm not talking about man versus woman. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I talked about language switching between black and white, that black people switch from talking to other black people to talking to white people, and we all do it, or at least we used to. Now, white people said, "Oh no, that's Ebonics." No, it's not Ebonics. It's not some special language it's improper English, but we can understand each other. That's the only part of it. Even the most proper, like me, black person in the world can understand an improper English speaking black person. It's called code switching, right? So we get around white people and we go, sure, Jim, I would love to go to the tennis match and watch it with you and your family. I'll bring Judy. Okay, I'll see you this weekend. And then we go home and go, Judy, you would not believe what this... I'm not going to go into everything. But we need to say, hey, hold up. What's the guy's name? Ron Anderson. What's his name? The white gay guy that CNN promotes as the be all end all of everything. Anderson Cooper. There we go. You need to say, hold up, Anderson Cooper. I don't care if Tebow is the most conservative, the most Republican black person on this side of the Mason-Dixie. I am not going to sit here and bash him in front of you for your entertainment, because that's all that's really going on. You're not trying to actually solve any problems. You're a news channel. You're here for entertainment, and that's all the news channels are for this day and age, right? You all know I'm right. You already heard that the courts have said that the news, quote unquote, does not have a duty to tell the truth. In law, this is now the law of the land, that the news does not have a duty to tell the truth. The news does not have a duty to be factual. And in fact, the news can tell you the exact opposite of what is actually true, because it is on television. It is for entertainment only. Not only did they say that, they said that the FCC has no authority to even challenge news to tell the truth. So, I mean, the courts laid it down. And pro tip, Fox, MSNBC, CNN, all joined in on that lawsuit. All of them. You think that they're battling each other and blah, blah. No, that's just for ratings. Sweetheart, you need to grow up. Black people, don't let a white person bash another black person. You need to say, hey, time out. You're not our defender. But you need to be that way all the time, in every instance. We take care of our own. That means if our own needs a beating, a whooping, to be put over the knee, we need to do that behind closed doors. Just like you don't whip your children in front of your other children, you need to go, right? Take them behind closed doors. You don't do this whole, I'm going to set an example and beat you in front of all the other children. No, that's not what you do. You take them behind closed doors. There we go. Parenting 101 all in 2 seconds. But we don't need to have white people, quote unquote, defend us. What hubris. How insulting is that? That white people think that they need to defend us against other black people. That's crazy. Just like the women don't tolerate that, right? In the whole women's movement, black people, you don't need to tolerate that. And you've tolerated that with the whole entire Democratic Party. I need you to sit, if you are a black Democrat listening to me, I need you to sit down and you need to go over everything that the Democratic Party has told you. And I want you to see how it is against your own self-interest. Meaning, it's bad for you. It's bad for your pocket. You don't have to rescue the entire black population. You don't have to rescue the entire American population. You need to watch out for you. I give you permission to be selfish. I know your church is telling you different. I know the Democratic Party is telling you different. They want something out of you. I don't want anything out of you. I want you to be really free. I want you to be really equal. I want you to be selfish. I want you to look out for you and you alone. I need you to sit down, and I'm serious as a heart attack. I need you to sit down and really question what the Democrats have told you. And I want you to put on your selfish hat. Put that bad boy on, and I want you to say, okay, here is what they have said. If I were completely selfish, would this be something that I would go for? And I bet you 70% of the stuff that you've been told, you would not go for. You would not vote for welfare. You would not vote for WIC. You would not vote for food stamps. You would not vote for Medicaid. Why? Because you have your selfish hat on. Keep that in mind. If you were selfish and you don't get any of that crap, but you're paying into it anyway, that's against your best interest, right? That's against your selfish nature, right? That's what you need to do and sit down and do. And say, you know what? No, those days are over. I don't need you to take money from me to get to Joe, because Joe isn't me. He's not my family. And I know this goes against all that you need to be a good person. You need to feel sorry for other people. No, other people need to feel sorry for themselves, don't they? At the end of the day, have you ever had a friend that you tried to tell something, that they're in a difficult situation, and you tried to tell them, hey, you're in a difficult situation. You need to get up out of that. And they just won't listen. And after a while, you just throw your hands up in the air, right? Why is that? Because you can't fix everybody. If you have somebody who is stupid, and stupid means, what does stupid mean? After hearing good information, they still and go do the bad thing. That's stupid. Ignorant is not knowing the good information at all. They are ignorant of the facts. Stupid is being knowledgeable of the facts and still going and turning around, just like what, drug addicts, the women and men. I had somebody say, no, men are, and they just came out with a study that said women are the biggest abusers. They abuse men don't report it, and they abuse other women, and they abuse children. Just monsters. Now, when I say stuff like that, don't go, well, I'm a woman. First of all, right, what are you? You're being selfish, and you're saying, well, that doesn't apply to me, so it must not apply to all women. No, that's not true. It just doesn't apply to just you. You need to then turn around and say, hey, women, we need to do better. Just like black people need to turn around and say, hey, we need to do better, but you need to do it behind closed doors, right? Behind closed doors. And I need you to be selfish and go through all of the stuff, all of you, white, black, blue, green, what have you. I need you all to be selfish. Since when does a politician have the right to tell you how good and how brotherly love you need to be? A politician? That doesn't even make sense. Who has the authority to tell you that? Your minister, your mom, your dad. That's it. It's a very short list. Not even your brother or sister, because your brother or sister is just as bad as you. They've done, you know the evil things that your brother and sister do, right? Well, you should. You should be very close. And you should know all the dirty secrets that your brother and sister have, right? Stuff that you don't tell mom and dad. The list of people who can tell you right from wrong is very short. Your minister, your mom, your dad, not even your teacher because who's your teacher? Just some stranger that you were forced to go watch. You didn't get to pick and choose, but you do pick and choose your minister. Hopefully, if you're a grown adult, you pick and choose your minister. You don't just willy-nilly. And when I moved to a city, I go to several churches before I settle in, right? That's what you should be doing. You need to get a second opinion and a third opinion, right? You don't just go, he's Baptist, because there's some people who call themselves all sorts of stuff who preach all sorts of weird stuff. People have told me, oh, if your preacher is telling you that, you're in the wrong church. Well, there are churches who teach this, that, and the other weird stuff. You need to go get second opinions about stuff. Okay, so all of you, white, black, blue, green, you need to sit down and be selfish and say, does a politician have the authority that I should even listen to tell me right from wrong? No. What is a politician for? He's simply there to make sure that we have a civilized nation. What does civility means? It means people not murdering each other. That's it. That's the extent of it. It's not talking about good or bad. It's talking about civilized. Can you walk down the street safely? That's it. It doesn't mean, can we solve world hunger? We already can't solve world hunger. The politicians are the very ones who are stopping world hunger from being solved. That's the double speak of all of them, except for the Libertarian Party. All right, thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show. Take everything I said to heart.